Hello there, we're checking out Autotune Ruin Music. It will never be the same by Patrick CC. Let's see if he's speaking faster.
Autotune ruined music is an exhausted argument that old people have been complaining about for the past 15
It just added a new element to
Their
music.
assumption is that you can use the tool on anyone's voice and it will magically make them a great singer, which is only partially true. Look at this bad singer with Autotune versus a good singer with Autotune.
Through the fire, to the limit, to the wall.
Oh shit.
Oh, that sound good. Yeah, you know, I've been looking for you.
Hey yo, my ears, bro.
Basically, the tool can make a bad singer somewhat tolerable and a good singer sound near perfect. But some artists use it for creative purposes. T-Pain is the artist most commonly associated with Autotune, and he is actually a phenomenal singer. He used the effect in 2004 not to be better, but to be different. During the beginning of this video, I want you to stop thinking about artists like T-Pain, Travis Scott, Kanye West, and anyone else who uses Autotune as a creative effect. That's not who
I know everybody here, but I don't know who this is.
we're talking about right now. The artists in question are the ones who are understood to be good or great singers, but use Autotune to achieve perfection, because there is a big problem with perfect singing. But first, a word from our sponsor, DkShadow. Over 800 years.
The other ad. Watch the original video to get the code. The code's down there.
It's good to note that Autotune is a plugin, a program that was invented by Andy Hildebrand in 1997. The word auto is important because the program automatically perfects their singing in real time. Shortly after, another similar program was invented called Melodyne. The basic goal of these tools: pitch correction. When an artist sings, they are trying to hit specific notes. If they miss a note, these tools will essentially force the sound recording up or down in pitch to correct the error. But missing a note is not an error. It's called character, style, color, emotion. Sure, if you miss every note, or are constantly missing notes, you are just bad at singing. But the way a singer misses the notes is what makes them unique. Listen to the before and after pitch correction on a great singer's voice.
Okay, that's interesting actually.
When Guardio told me about 10 different information leaks with which I had associated accounts.
Cool.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
You may not be able to hear a huge difference.
I actually like
the version with Melodyne removes some of the soul in Bill's voice.
Yeah, it did.
Here's an example that is a
crazy,
little more
right?
obvious.
Let me go home.
Notice how that E4 note Michael Bublé sang is a perfectly straight line? This would be like pressing down on a piano. The accuracy is next to impossible to achieve by a human.
I'm just too far from where you are.
His singing just kind of sounds like noise, like a robot, no emotion, which kind of defeats the point because it's an emotional song. Here's another example.
When my eyes were staring.
I wish he would also like put the part with no auto-tune so then I could hear the difference and see what it sounds like. Or maybe they didn't release that one.
Just sounds very robotic and soulless. Now compare that to someone who is not using
They should do two releases. One with auto-tune and one without auto-tune.
Autotune. Now, Freddie Mercury is considered to be one of the best of all time, but this singing isn't perfect pitch. You can see he's missing some notes, but it still sounds amazing, filled with emotion, with life. Perfect pitch removes the human element of the voice, but these days, human connection doesn't even matter. Not using autotune might actually do more harm than good. If human connection mattered, then electronic dance music wouldn't be as popular as it is. In most genres, it seems like the connection comes from the rhythm of the beat or the lyrics, rather than the actual voice of the performer. However, I think we can agree that hearing an artist perform their work with no effects makes us feel something.
I couldn't fight it, I'd hoped you'd see my face, and that you'd be reminded that for me.
Damn, she hit that shit though. Oh shit.
There's something special about a human that can sing so well. Even singers who don't have amazing pitch are able to evoke an emotional response to the listener based on the passion they convey.
I'm sorry.
Tired the bed and then run it up. I gotta put the new bells inside of the freezer. Back at the trap, I was ducking the people, ducking the birds, sending out the Migos.
So you would assume that live performances is where you get to see all your favorite artists perform their songs in their natural voice.
Probably not.
Some singers are very adamant about not using Autotune in live performances, but sometimes Autotune is applied to their microphones without them even knowing.
Yo, I know we're live right now, but I think you guys have some tune on my vocals or something.
Bieber's Autotune was likely set to the wrong key, which was making his singing sound terrible. If it was in the right key, he may not have even noticed. But does a singer using Autotune live ruin the value of the performance?
Probably not.
Is it dishonest? When you consider they have to dance, engage the crowd, and pace themselves properly for 1 or 2 hours, they get fatigued and are likely to miss some notes. So a little help from Autotune isn't the worst thing in the world.
Here and there, yeah.
Think about the big bright lights, bass blasting through the massive speakers, standing in the middle of a sea of people, everyone dancing and living in the moment. That is what makes the performance memorable. It doesn't really matter what type of music is playing or who is performing it, as long as the energy and environment is right. Most rappers don't even perform their songs. They just play the MP3 version that you would listen to on Spotify, and they jump around screaming a few of the words. But rap fans still love these concerts.
They don't like it when you tell them the truth. I'd rather be realer than you.
And these fans are starting to encourage the use of the effect. The attitude towards Autotune varies from genre to genre. In EDM, nobody cares. Daft Punk have been using all kinds of crazy vocal effects since their inception, and nobody ever mentions them. After all, it is called electronic music. In hip-hop, it was heavily rejected at first, but thanks to a few legendary artists such as T-Pain, Kanye West, and Lil Wayne, over time it became beloved. Now most hip-hop fans don't mind the use of the effect. In rock, pop, country, and other genres that have been traditionally dominated by talented vocalists is where artists get the most criticism. I mean, these are some of the oldest genres, where 50, 60, 70 years ago, your performance was everything. You wouldn't have a career if you weren't a good vocalist. These days, if you don't use Autotune, it might actually hurt your potential. Kids and young adults will always be deciding what the status quo is for pop culture. If you don't have a young fan base, you won't be topping the charts. Young people have been so conditioned to hearing perfect pitch for the past 20 years that when we hear something that isn't perfect, it sounds unprofessional or unfinished. Since the industry standard has been pushed to use pitch correction,
is that how I see it?
to use it.
I don't know if that's how I see it, because I like the emotion low-key. Like, a little mess ups here and there tries to make me copy it, like,
to stay competitive. This leads people to believe that it ruined the music industry. Now, the barrier to entry into the music industry is lower than ever. Anyone can buy a $50 microphone online, download or purchase a DAW and Autotune and record a song, then post it on TikTok, go viral, and get a record deal. But is that a bad thing? If people like the song, then they like the song. Music is subjective after all. However, some artists will spend years and years mastering their craft, only for it to fall on deaf ears, whereas others blow up by accident or off a gimmick. Does one person deserve more recognition than another? Should there be a new Grammy or award or category for real singers or non-Autotune singers? Autotune is just another technological advancement that was bound to happen. Humans are always trying to make things easier, faster, more efficient. People think that singing is just a natural talent. It mostly isn't. It takes years and years of practice and training, along with maintaining that skill. Singers are constantly warming up their vocals, making sure they eat and drink properly, and trying to maintain their skill.
I know you gotta drink a lot of warm stuff. I don't drink a lot of warm stuff. Like, I looked it up online. They said you should like drink some warm water and shit, or drink soup. I don't do none of that. I don't even like warm water.
But if you are pretty good, or very good, or kinda good, just slap a little bit of Autotune and speed up that process. Because if you spend too much time perfecting your voice, there's a new singer that pops up every 6 months who might captivate the audience's interest. And they use Autotune. The world is moving at an incredible pace, and greatness takes time. But people don't want to wait for greatness anymore. So most artists are not willing to take the risk and miss their chance at achieving their music dream.
Damn. Patrick CC with some mind-blowing truth at the end. Post Malone is a great example of how a great artist can still be unique live without hiding that their mic is Autotune. To be in effect, pitch correction is what the video is referencing. is that everything we hear on the radio or from our favorite artists is pitch corrected so consistently that we lost touch with what the actual human voice sounds like. This is why when we go to live shows, we are almost always disappointed. I never went to a live show, so I don't know. Let me know if he's speaking facts. Subscribe to Patrick. Subscribe to me and bye.